Alhamdulillah, assalamu alaikum. Is the UK and the wider West in general on the brink of civil war? And if it is, what is taking it there? That's what we're going to be dissecting in today's episode of Chai with My Bai, the podcast where we aim to make you the type of man that your son is proud of and your Lord is pleased with. Today we have an illustrious panel. We have Fawaz, the CEO whisperer. We have Dr. Imran, the peptide whisperer. We have, as he's addressed here, Sheikh Imran, the polygamy whisperer.
Oof, yeah.
He will fix your business. He will fix your health.
I want to address the Sheikh thing, by the way, yeah. Actually just hit me yesterday. It's like, it's getting a bit OTT now.
And you know what? Yeah. One of the brothers on a concierge call actually mentioned, he said, is that not an issue here? If you call each other, because Sheikh is actually a royal title here. He was like, do you think you could ever get in trouble for using Sheikh? I was like, I think that might be a bit too much.
I feel like you're an elderly person, respectable person.
No, it was a moon. I was at a gathering with some brothers yesterday, and there was some guys that I'd met for the first time, and it was just weird. Like, when the brothers here say it's like, okay, I get it. We call each other Sheikh, like whatever. We know each other. But when guys who don't know you, and then when you say Sheikh, suddenly someone's demeanor changes and how they address you, and grown men. And I was like, yeah, stop it now. I'm not a sheikh. Like, as in, I'm not a religious sheikh. I'm not an alim. Leave that for the scholars. Leave that for the ulama.
No, barakallahu feek. The first event we want to discuss, since this podcast brief was created, something else has happened since then. So we'll come to the most recent one, which I'm sure you guys would have heard. Belfast, which funny enough, I don't know why. For some reason, I thought it was in Ireland. My geography, I thought I had good geography, but I actually thought this was in Ireland, and afterwards I found out.
You Irish. Two completely separate countries.
Yes, it's actually North Ireland.
Like, they went through a civil war.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. And I just thought Belfast was part of Ireland. I knew there were two separate countries.
You heard about
and even that.
You do understand,
and even that was because of the British.
To you guys than us.
I know.
Yeah, and even that was because of the British.
I guess
Catholics, Protestants.
Dublin confused with
potato famine. You never did your history.
Belfast or something. I don't know.
Such a disrespectful statement, by the way, to the Irish, by the way.
What?
Just putting that out there.
What was that?
I thought Dublin and Belfast were the same thing.
No, not the same thing. I got them mixed up.
But how can you, bro?
It just happened.
It happens, bro.
You think you think I woke up that morning and said, today, I'm going to mix up Dublin and Belfast? No.
How dare you?
By the way, I've never ever been to Northern Ireland. I've only ever been to Southern Ireland.
I've never even been to either. Which is probably why I got confused between the two.
Bro.
I actually came to my wife and I was like, have you seen what's happening in Ireland? She was like, what's happening? And I started talking about it. And then I thought, wait, let me check something about what happened. And I saw it said Northern Ireland. I was like, oh, wait, snap. I realized that's part of the UK. But essentially, a Sudanese man who was an immigrant who had claimed asylum in 2023.
Was it Sudanese or Somali?
Sudanese.
Sorry, my mistake.
He stabbed a white Northern Irish gentleman multiple times. I think he lost his eye. He's got deep lacerations across his face. It was recorded. There's a video footage online. The guy has now been arrested, and it caused a huge uproar, right? And you'll find a lot of would you call them native British, white, whatever you want to call them.
Right wing.
I mean, that's their political ideology. I'm talking about as a caste or an ethnicity or whatever you want to call them. They're outraged, and they're saying that this just goes to show we were right all along. Right, these immigrants are coming over. They're violent, military age men, and this is what they're doing. A couple of weeks before that, we had the situation where a young man was actually murdered. Right, his name was Henry Novak. He was murdered by a Sikh gentleman who then.
You're saying gentle, but are they gentle?
No.
Are they gentle?
I mean, it's just.
Can a murderer be gentle?
It's just a.
No.
It's the term.
Okay, I don't want someone to think that you're minimizing like the crime.
I mean, he's not a lady, so I'm just calling him a gentleman.
Yeah. Guy.
Okay, sure.
Man.
Sure. Is this value per second?
I like your eloquent speech, bro.
Sure.
No, I don't want these enemies of Islam.
Someone could be like, oh yeah, you're saying gentleman, as in like, you don't see that as
I'm referring to him as gentleman because we believe there's two genders. I'm just using it as a gender.
Yeah. I'm just clarifying.
I'm just clarifying he wasn't a female.
Okay.
A Sikh male. A male Sikh, whichever one you want to call him. And the way that one went, I don't know if you guys saw the video. It was actually very disturbing the way the police handled that particular situation.
How?
And it's caused a big uproar regarding two-tier policing, which we're going to come to. So it's essentially what happened is these two guys were walking past each other, had some kind of verbal altercation or something. the Sikh guy pulled out a knife. Now, to be clear, this wasn't the what's the little shank called?
The kirpan.
Yeah, it wasn't that. Some media have been saying, "Oh yeah, he used
not the religious
kirpan."
knife.
No, he did have that on him, but that wasn't the shank that he used. He used a different shank to then stab this guy. And then him and his brother called the police. They called the police saying, "We've just been racially attacked by this guy. We've subdued him. Can you come?" So police have come now, and they're coming under the context of a white guy has racially attacked a Sikh guy, and we're here to respond. So the white guy's on the floor. He's there on the floor. He's saying, I can't breathe. These guys are brushing him off. Saying, oh, just relax. They think he's drunk. They think something,
He's bleeding, huh?
So he's saying, I've been stabbed. They're looking at him saying, and it's dark. They couldn't see the blood, I assume. No, you haven't, mate. The guy's telling them, I've been stabbed. Call the ambulance. I need help. And they're saying, no, you haven't, mate. Like basically just relax. He talks to the other guy. Even the other guy says, yeah, no, he's lying. He hasn't been stabbed. Like he's just lying. Then another police officer comes and says, oh, look, we have to check. He's saying he's been stabbed. We have to check. The guy's like gurgling. You can hear him like struggling to breathe. Then another guy said, oh, wait, he's got blood in his mouth. They just assumed, I don't know, it's a punch or something. And eventually on the scene, he dies.
Mad.
Then they discover he had been stabbed. He lost, I think, so much blood.
What?
I think in the coroner's report, if I'm not mistaken, it mentioned that even if they had started to administer CPR there and then, it wouldn't have saved his life. It's not as if their delay in taking him seriously is what causes death. But this caused riots. This caused, people was smashing stuff up. In Belfast, it was a lot worse. Belfast started setting houses on fire. They started setting cars on fire. Like they would literally walk past doors. They can see a brown or black person in the window. Doesn't matter who it is, what it is. This big crowd.
Mob, yeah?
Just happened in Bolton. Just happened in Bolton. I don't know if you saw the report. The Imam's house that was set on fire.
The Imam's house was set on fire. Yeah, the guy threw a brick inside, started putting alcohol on it, and set it on fire. The tension is rising.
Look, I know you thought it was a scam, or maybe you thought it was too good to be true. But on this podcast, I've been telling you about an opportunity that you can use to learn to make money. There are people that are making 10K a month, Allah Barik, within 90 days. They're making their first dollar online and they're becoming financially independent, Allah Barik. This is brother Abu Lahya's IMA, Influencer Marketing Accelerator. It shows you how to make money online, halal, through influencer marketing. I got off the phone to him and he's just told me that one of the guys from this channel is about to become their first millionaire. $1 million cash. He's just passed the $800,000 mark and he came in the summertime. I just done a live the other day with his inner circle members. These are guys that are on the IMA program that have done their 10K a month. Some of them, the next goal is 50K a month. Some of them is more, some of them is a bit less. The reason I share this with you is because I don't have anything to offer those that want to learn how to make money online. I have a network of high net worth and ultra high net worth Muslims, but people are always asking me, and the only place that I just really trust that I can say to you, go here and hopefully you can learn how to make some money online, inshallah ta'ala, is Abu Lahya's IMA Accelerator. Just so you know, it requires hard work every single day, 90 days. It's not cheap, it is expensive, and they reject most applications. But if you get there, inshallah ta'ala, you can get that financial independence, do your hijrah. You don't have to work because you're taking a bit longer than you should have taken on your salah break. Come on, like that's not really the kind of situation you want to be in. So apply at the link below and don't let another year pass.
We were discussing last year, or was it earlier this year, about the possibility of war with Russia. I think a civil war within the UK might be more likely, more pressing, more urgent than the current situation. So you guys, it sounds like this was your first time hearing about this news.
I don't keep up to date with the news anymore.
So what was your first impression based on what you've heard?
Just glad to not be there, alhamdulillah.
But you got friends there, you got family members there, you got people that you love daily there.
They should.
What are your?
They should leave quickly. As in, the reason. Firstly, it's tragic that anyone died. Right. Of course, if a Muslim passes away, that's deeply concerning and painful for us as a brother. If a non-Muslim passes away, we still honor and respect, and that loss, and we feel bad for the families that have incurred that loss. But the fact of the matter is that this is why we left the UK, is because we saw this happening, and you just don't want to be in a place like that. But you don't want to raise your kids, your family in a place like that. Simple.
Literally, it's ajib that all this news is happening. Just one of my closest friends from Dubai. He's just completed his Hajj, went back to the UK just to see his family, and he was going to come back to Dubai. in those couple of days, or in this last week, it happened. His son was stabbed in the heart. What? Currently in critical condition right now. Everybody please make dua for his brother, dua for his family, giving him strength and give some shifa. 22-year-old kid. You know, no altercation, just...
From hijrah?
Yeah, so he came back from hajj and his son was in the UK, just got stabbed, literally last week. He's currently still in critical condition. They've got him sedated. So all I'm hearing is this violence. And it's almost as if it's got to a boiling point now and it's all tipping over, you know. And we see more, it's almost like they're trying to normalize it to an extent. We saw this happening in America. The thing is, we didn't live through a generation of America where crime was as rife as it is now. This was in our father's time where they saw what we're feeling now in the Americas, where they saw knife crime, gun crime really becoming just normalized. Because they were, you know, America have always had guns and knives, and they've had this, you know, these amendments where they're allowed to carry these firearms. But there was a unspoken regulation and unspoken control. People wouldn't just shoot each other on the streets. Then what we saw was the formation of these ghettos and the formation of these really, you know, gang culture happening, the Mexican gangs, the black gangs, the white gangs, all happening. And then gun crime became really kind of commonplace, and then it became normalized. You know, this is something you hear about, and it's, I'm used to it now. Another gun shooting, and now mass school shootings, stabbings, normalized. So this is happening.
So what you're saying is people in the UK are like the boiling frog.
Yeah, we're going through this now. So in the UK,
when you put a frog into boiling water,
it doesn't know.
It jumps out straight away. But when you put it in cold water and then
boil it, yes,
it will stay until it dies.
So that's what's happening now in the UK. If you look at society,
you won't realize the change, huh?
Yeah,
and that's what happens. You become desensitized.
They become desensitized, yeah.
To things, you become desensitized. Look, the thing is, by the way, what we're talking about right now is a risk to your life.
100%.
But your deen and iman has been at risk from the beginning. That's the thing, innit? People don't wake up like already. Like the generation of kids that are going to be raised on this LGBTQ plus stuff, already, you know, not having the hijrah for Islam and the understanding of Tawheed and this and that and so on and so forth, how you should treat your parents, how you should treat your wife, your spouse, keda, good manners, it's all gone. You know what I'm saying? This current generation is going to be raised without that. So already what has happened to your deen, to your iman, is the boiling the boiling frog analogy has already happened to it. Because you are there and your kids are, may Allah protect us. I mean, but they are risk of, and some of them are apostating, right? Now, what's left now? Bro, your livelihood. At least consider your dunya, bro. If you didn't consider your deen, bro, at least consider your dunya and get out.
Can I be honest? I think the UK is mal'oon, like it's cursed. And anyone who doesn't go there for a while and comes out of it and then goes back to visit for a day, I don't know if you guys feel it, but the second I land in that place, I can just see this place is cursed, right?
I'll tell you something funny. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, please.
Ammar Sultan, he's there right now, right? He went after Hajj, he went back there. But he mentioned me a couple of days ago, he was like, bro, I've been here for 5 days. I've started watching hijrah videos. I've made hijrah. I'm just here to visit.
Yeah.
Because I find myself watching hijrah videos like as if like I need to do it again. Like,
wow.
It's a cursed place. Yeah. And anyone who comes out of there for a while, when you tell this to people who live there, again, because they're so desensitized and because they've gotten so used to it, they've become like, you know, it's become natural to them. The things that are going on. It's like, oh, subhanAllah, oh, that's terrible. You know, that's the reaction you see. But it's because that's their daily life, right? That's what they started to, it's like we said, it's become normal. But step out of the situation. This is why I genuinely advise people, right, who are struggling with the concept of hijrah, just come out for a month, right? Come out for a month and then go back and wallahi, you will hate that place.
Yeah.
And I found that to be the case with so many people. Even us, we found at one stage we were living in this. We didn't know how bad it was until we left the country and then we came back. We're like, what the hell is this disgusting place? Like, how did I, you know, sometimes the way I talk about Ireland, you know, some of my family, they're like, oh, you forgot you used to live here. Yeah, I completely forgot I used to live there. I don't know how. I don't know how I ever survived this place for even a day, let alone a week. I go back to Ireland, I need to be out of there in 3-4 days. Otherwise, I'm losing my mind, right? So my biggest advice for people is step out and then you will see how bad it is. But if you're stuck in there, there's always going to be, oh, it's not that bad. But you just understand that there's a whole other way of life. And I love one of the poems of Imam Shafi'i. He says, if you want to experience the highest level of life, travel, leave, traverse the earth. And he says it's better for you. And if he ends the poem, he says, if somebody says, well, traveling or moving around is difficult, tell him that is better than to be humiliated in a land, than to stay there in a land where you're humiliated, where things aren't going well. It's better for you to deal with the difficulty of travel.
You know, the one who's born in a burning house assumes the whole world is on fire.
Barakallah.
You know, until you step out and see the world, you don't know. I was just speaking to a brother recently and saying, brother, we were taught that the Alps, Swiss, Europe is where everything is. It wasn't until I moved here to Dubai and this region of the world, and I traveled to some of the close areas here, I realized, bro, the beauty of the world is not that part of the world, that Western region. It's madness.
And you know what? Maybe we have done a disservice to the audience by constantly just talking about the UAE because we live here, right? But the fact of the matter is that some people are like, look, the UAE is not my cup of tea because maybe I can't afford it. Maybe it's, maybe some people want to be in nature, whatever. For whatever reason, this is not your cup of tea. No problem. Do you know about life you can live in Pakistan? There are guys actually who moved here, then moved to Pakistan. Yeah. And they're living in Pakistan. Bro, low expenses, luxury life. Bro, Morocco.
Even Egypt.
I was just going to say.
Like people
every
in
country
Egypt,
has
by the way,
trade-offs.
If you make 2K a month in Egypt, I think it's like you're part of the top like 1%, by the way, of something insane. And trust me, I've lived in Egypt, 2K a month, you're vibing with a family, by the way.
And by the way, we're not saying that every country doesn't have its trade-offs. Yeah, we're saying that, bro, like, because even it's true, the Swiss Alps are beautiful. It's just,
bro,
crime and the headache.
Tell them to come check out Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, bro. I went Kazakhstan last year.
I don't know if if those places would be like, they're very like...
Yeah, I mean, not for living. I'm just saying, like when I went there, bro, I was blown away. Yeah, and I've been to like places in Europe. I've been to Switzerland. I've been to these countries, and I thought this is it. I thought this is what I'm going to miss. The things that we think we're going to miss.
Like holiday destination.
Yeah, you don't really miss those things. And the issue that we see in the UK is we're shackled in. By all the systems that we think are beneficial to us, these are the systems that are shackling us. It's like we are thanking our prison guards. We're thanking the wardens. We think things like the NHS, which we feel are so amazing. Oh, we've got this free healthcare. It is free, yeah, but it's a broken system where you're waiting 16, 17 weeks for your basic appointments. And because you've got it for free and you've had it for such a long time, you feel there's no other alternative.
And not just that, if we could just add another thing here, is that people don't realize, bro, you see, it's your skin looks like this, bro. You're not British, Just you're not.
You're a POC.
Yeah. What was
Person
that?
of colour.
Huh?
Person of colour.
Or even
my mom told me from like childhood, she goes, don't ever let that passport fool you. 100%. Don't you ever let it fool you.
Guys, let me tell you about AI. Now, I'm not a technical guy at all, but guess what? I'm making money through AI with Allah's permission. So if I can do it, then you can too, because I'm the kind of guy that's like, hey, why is the computer off? And it's because it's not plugged in. But with that said, by Allah's permission, I'm making money through AI. I used to hear people always say AI helps you save money. AI helps you save time, make more money. But I didn't know how, because just like you most likely, my relationship with ChatGPT was Google search engine type of relationship. That was the extent to which it would go. Until I met a brother called Jihad. Jihad Iqbal, he is the founder of Liberate Labs. He is a consultant for Y Combinator startups. He has consulted for Google and worked for Amazon. And now he helps service-based business owners become AI savvy. In simple terms, he will bring AI systems into your business that are custom, specific to you, and he will help you save money and make more money. He's doing it for us, and he's doing it for others inside of our network of high net worth entrepreneurs and investors. He's doing it for 50 clients currently. So if you want to know about how you can bring AI into your business, start saving money and making money and overcoming those inconsistent human dependencies that are so annoying, then book a link below with our brother, because this is the top 1% online AI space. Back your brothers, link below, let's go.
My thing is this, what I'm trying to get at here is that you might want to be British, no problem. But you will never be accepted. And here's the thing. Now that these tensions are starting to surface, and bro, look, when you take people's food away, when you take their basic necessities away, what happens is they get violent. They get very violent. And then when they wake up and they realize, actually, you lot, if we get rid of you, there's more for us. You better believe they're going to get rid of you, bro.
Pretty much reason where someone kicks back and says, but Rishi Sunak, person of colour, he was the Prime Minister. He reached the highest level in the country. Sadiq Khan is the Mayor of London. Yeah. Like, people of colour are integrating, hitting Shabana Mahmood. Right now, she's one of the biggest MPs in the cabinet. So, does not show that we are British?
So this could work if democracy was true, right? Democracy, the whole thesis behind it is that, it's based on merit, right? What the people want, and the best candidate can win based on him being the best representative of the people. And the fact of the matter is that
Sure, let's just assume that there is no hidden hand in democracy and they are genuinely trying to make this thing work. But look at what we're seeing in America. Democracy has failed, right? Now, this talks about let's redo the Constitution. How many unconstitutional things are taking place? How many unconstitutional wars are being started? Bro, democracy is dead, right? Actually, it's interesting, right? It's interesting. There's a book that was published in the 1980s or 70s, I forget, by a European. It's titled Democracy, the Failed God, something like that. Very interesting. And there's a whole movement right now in America to just get rid of democracy. And
private companies.
exactly, right? Which is just like hardcore capitalism, right? What they call it, libertarian.
Technocracy or something?
No, technocracy is going to be like the mechanism through which they deploy it. But libertarian capitalism or something like that. Point being is that it's just let the markets run. Let the markets, let the private companies run. So point being is that we've seen democracy as a failed experiment. It is an absolutely failed experiment. So this is just you know how you have vanity metrics? Hey, I'm great on social media because my video gets millions of views. But do you get sales? Do you get leads? That's the real metric that we need to look at. There are guys that get maybe hundreds of views, right? Sam Amin, for example, but 6.1 million USD in the bank account in 7-8 months. That's the real metric. So what you need to look at is not, was this Asian, Hindu, Sikh, or Muslim man in a position of power, hero, that, no, but just put your ear to the ground and just look at the people. The people are vexed. And Allah already told you in the Quran, He said to you, قَدْ بَدَتِ الْبَغْضَاء مِنْ أَفْوَاهِهِمْ. The hatred they have for you has already become apparent on their mouths. Now they say it. Bro, look at these conferences that Tom Robbins is doing, saying, I don't want to misquote the guy because I want to be just, but something to the effect of, I'm paraphrasing, like we have to fight, right? In the context of
United Kingdom,
against
innit?
Islam.
Yeah.
right? Against Islam. Elon Musk comes on the first one that he did, saying, you lot have to get ready to fight. In the context of what?
Even
Islam.
now, with this recent one, all these guys have been chiming in saying that, look, what they're trying to say now basically is that we have two-tier policing where white people are now victims police, which is, for me, is like having grown up in London. The amount of time we got stop and search and all this nonsense. And for them to now say that they feel like it's flipped the other way now, that black and brown people are getting favourable treatment by the police and it's the white people that are the victims.
So now look at that. So which backs up the
these
reality.
Guys are lapping it up, they're believing it.
So which backs up the ayah? So قَدْ بَدَتِ الْبَغْضَاء مِنْ أَفْوَاهِهِمْ. The hatred they have for you has become apparent on their mouths. وَمَا تُخْفِي صُدُورُهُمْ أَكْبَرُ. But what they are hiding inside is even greater. So now, when that leash breaks and the dogs let loose, bro, Nazi Germany, bro.
But let me ask you guys a question.
Nazi Germany, bro. Look what happened there, bro.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys ever feel like you can sympathize with the average, right-wing British white man?
Yes.
Who feels like,
every day,
bro, like, when you hear stories about Great Britain and, had this empire and it was around, we were at the top. And now it's like, I'm living on a council estate on benefits, can't get a decent job.
No, not that side.
There's
you know why
immigrants coming into the country that are doing all these attacks and stuff.
You know what these white men think?
No.
You know what these white men
not
think?
that side.
What side
I answered too early. I understand the effect of, you came in our country and now you guys are criminals. Like, you guys are doing a lot of crimes, right? And I'll be honest with you, like, there's no denying the amount of, like, in the UK as well, how much of the Muslim community is aiding to crime and issues, right? There's no denying it, right?
I wouldn't say just Muslim community. I would say immigrants in general, because there are many.
All of them.
We're a very small population in the
Obviously.
UK. We're a very small population.
I'm fully with you, right? But I'm saying you have to consider that it's. Let me put it like this: a guest in someone's house, right, must behave better than the person who lives in the house itself.
Sure.
I have this belief, right? And you guys can disagree, etc., and you guys can chime in. But fair enough. Truly, we know it's not our country.
But we don't. This is the problem. This is the problem. We don't. We should do. We should. You're absolutely right. The ideal should be there.
So my thing is, even in UAE, I'm going to behave better than an Emirati would because this isn't my country.
Yeah.
I should make sure I'm upholding the laws to the highest degree, extra, because it's not my country.
Yeah.
Likewise, when I'm in Ireland or you're in any of these countries, understand that this isn't your country. So if you're going to live here, behave yourself. Like, don't say, oh, they're doing it as well, so it's cool for us to do it. And I'm not saying that there isn't white people committing crimes, etc. I'm saying I'm calling out my own people, right? As an immigrant, as a Muslim, etc. Know better. Don't give them like, the opportunity to say something. If Muslims weren't committing these crimes and atrocities, and I'm clarifying, I'm not saying it's just Muslims, but they can't say much, right? The best way to change somebody's opinions is through your actions. If we get, even if it's a minority, the minority of our people in this community to stop doing these things, well, what are they going to have to say?
So
I thought they'll find a way to spin it regardless.
yeah. So look, I agree with you in the sense where if we are gonna be self-accountable, which we absolutely should be, we should always slap ourselves on the wrist before anyone else, right?
By the way, I'm not excusing the actions, burning anyone's house, regardless. It's you should have the intellect to know the actions of some doesn't equate to the actions
Of course.
Yeah.
But look, from an angle of if I was talking to our people, right? Absolutely, bro. And I would say this and much worse, what you just said. But the fact of the matter is that at the same time, our British hosts,
Gentlemen.
our Anglo
Saxon.
Anglo hosts, right? Anglican hosts who so courteously hosted us after burning down our homes. They need to take accountability as well. The fact of the matter is that where do the immigrants come from?
War-torn countries that pillaged and
Sheikh,
destroyed.
I'm
for
all
years.
for that. And we can go down this rabbit hole. Look, I'm from Nigeria. Every time someone talks about the corruption that's going on in Nigeria, they just say, oh yeah, it's because of the white people that came. Sure, I agree. But at what stage do we be like, you know what?
Like I said, when I talk to
that's
my
where
thing is, when I talk to my own people, I'm gonna slap their wrist hard, bro. I'm gonna hold them to a higher standard.
Right
At
now,
the
we are
same time,
talking to our own people.
I know, but at the same time, our people are gonna come into contact and they're gonna come into dialogue with our Anglican hosts, so they need to be able to uphold a conversation, right? So I'm just giving them the ammo in case they need to get it cracking. So my point is that fact of the matter is that, bro, listen, your government is tap ban because number one, they let the immigrants in, right? Even right now, they let the immigrants in.
And they're paying them.
Listen to me, brother. They can turn off the boats now.
They can.
Put some soldiers on the border, brother.
I don't think
Take
off the boats, but they can stop the boats.
Listen, take the soldiers out of the bases.
Not enough
right?
left.
In
We're
countries.
low on soldiers, bro. We're low
Yeah?
on soldiers. We're low on soldiers.
But the police, man, I don't get it.
The
How are you letting guys on boats enter
The
your
police
country?
are flopping left, right, and center, man. The police are not on it right now.
You have a navy. How are you letting them? Because you want them. You allow it. You facilitate.
Scapegoat.
It's a scapegoat. You need the workers. You need the employees. Whatever it is.
Bro,
I don't know.
the population crisis right now. We need to just, we're for the population to continue growing at a rate that the country can sustain itself. We actually need immigrants. If you look at the average nuclear family, especially in just Anglo-Saxon or Caucasian families that are native British, what we found is that the number of childbirths are getting less and less. Where is it increasing? In the immigration side of things.
The most important department inside of your company is sales. And if you're anything like most entrepreneurs that are doing 100K a month, you've probably delegated away growing the sales department to some half-baked sales manager or a sales agency. That's exactly what I did until I met Brother Usman Kiani, who is a senior sales consultant that built Richard Branson's sales team at Virgin Gyms. He trains the sales teams of Iman Ghazi and provides sales reps for people like Cole Gordon, and he has a personal relationship with the likes of Alex Hormozi. This brother, he'd said to me, Imran, you have literally delegated away the most important part of your business to an agency that's not going to have the same skin in the game as you, which is why my company went into the red in Q4 last year. After working with him, I'm making more money now than I ever have before in my entire life. You see, if you get a sales consultant who's got the experience, then guess what, guys? This literally is the most ROI intensive investment you can make inside of your business. In fact, he even works with some of the biggest names in the Muslim space, such as Abu Lahya, right? In fact, Abu Lahya is the one who made the recommendation to me. So, guys, if you're making 100K plus every month and you sell high ticket online, we're talking through Zoom, through Google Meets and the likes, and you want to grow your sales process through to the roof, then I would advise you booking a call with Usman Kiani and his team at the link below. They won't just help you with sales, they'll even help you with marketing as well. But marketing in the context of what? The most important function of your business, cash money, brother. Anyways, look at the link below, book your call, and hopefully you'll dominate, inshallah, in terms of sales, the same way I and many other of our brother Usman's clients have dominated and benefited.
Tell us a secret exclusively for the guys that watch the ad until the end. If they skip the ad, they missed out on this one.
With regards to sales thing or what?
Anything. A benefit, a secret, exclusive, something scandalous. So a man will never skip another ad again on one of our videos because he knows every single ad got some juice, got some sauce. These aren't ads anymore. This is sauce.
The only thing that's on my mind is
That's getting beeped.
oh my gosh.
All right, on the next one.
On the next one.
Can I say something for all our Anglican hosts? That just so you know my position. Honestly, I would be right there with you on the border if a Muslim comes saying send him back. Because we don't want them to come to your country, fam. You know what I'm saying? We want them to go back.
You're saying if a war-torn family are trying to get to the UK for a better life, you'd say go back.
Send him back to a Muslim country. A Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah? Come Pakistan. Come Somalia. Come Morocco. Come Egypt. Come. You'll find one. You'll find one.
You know what we're going to see very soon? Look, one of the biggest...
By the way,
issues here-
you know what? It's not easy. I know because most times you'll end up in refugee camps if you're in those situations in Muslim countries like in Turkey. I don't want to downplay the situation. Yeah, right. Let me not be insensitive. But what I'm trying to get at is that we're not for the immigrants coming to your country. As in, our position is better to die needy, right, on lands where Allah is worshipped alone than to be humiliated in a country where our deen is at risk. We are not in... We don't want them to come there. But your government is saying, come on.
And not only are
We
they
need
come,
workers.
they're paying them.
You're paying them, yeah. They're
Up to
necessary.
10 grand
Pay them your money.
for up to 4 people. That's 40 grand. That's going to be given to people
Whilst you can't get a job.
to get them to leave voluntarily.
You can't get a job.
So Tommy's boys, Russell.
No, one second. I'm saying, but
They're gonna go for
no,
the Muslim
They
countries.
can
my
get
thing
jobs.
is, my thing is direct your frustration, not at us. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
No, but a lot of them, they don't want to do jobs.
Yeah,
They want
bro.
to be sitting at home earning benefits.
John with a GCSE D in textiles. He's trying to take Abdul Jabbar's job, who's a neurosurgeon. That's
what I'm saying,
essentially the
like,
situation.
Become a neurosurgeon.
It ain't gonna happen, bro. Look, in order for
John's in the pub, bro.
John's about.
every night.
But that's what Allah said. That's why Allah said alcohol's haram.
Look, there's a level.
What's that?
Look, there's a level of.
She's got some smashed up teeth. And that guy Nico, he's a troll.
Yeah.
She did an interview with her, innit?
Oh, I
they
remember
come
that
here,
one, yeah.
They took her
Took your
jobs.
teeth.
They took her that.
And
He
they
goes,
took your teeth.
did they take your teeth as well? She's like,
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Because you know what? He's a classic acting, bro. He went to the marches. This guy, did you see that?
Yeah.
He went to these marches. This guy
Unite the
as a
Kingdom.
white Unite the Kingdom, bro. The things that the people were saying.
They were saying, kill them all.
And you know
I've got a
the-
knife. One boy says she's a nitty, bro. She goes, I've got a knife with me. Let's go.
Bro, you know,
Convert these. You don't realize these. But the thing is, it's funny for us watching it.
but the
This
seriousness
is a
of
real
it.
person, bro. All it takes is, and she sounds like she's sick in the head. All it takes is one little thing
It's
to
not.
happen.
You know what the issue is? It's not that they're sick in the head, or it comes down to one real key
brainwash.
point. It's not even brainwash. It's a lack of education. And what I mean by that is not school education. Okay, they need a population that is dumb by nature. Right? You know, when you asked earlier, you said, "Oh, what about Rishi Sunak and all these guys? How do these people end up in power? These are control elements as well.
Yeah.
Okay, it's already a capitalist
Eton,
society. Yeah,
private schools,
democracy.
and all
Why does
service.
democracy work in the UK? Because I'm Dr. Imran, you're Sheikh Imran, you're Bakr al-Muhajir, you're CEO Fawaz. Yeah? We all have a vote each. Now let's bring in my lady with no teeth. She gets an equal vote to all of us. Now, if I've got enough dumb people like her that have this issue where they have no education, no understanding, no common sense,
I can fool them.
I can fool them and get their votes. And now I've got the majority vote. Now I get in power. So to keep the people in power, they need a population who is dumbed down, who will not understand the nuances of what's going on, and they need a common enemy.
And they're just there to make money.
They're just there to make money.
I
That's what it
found
comes
out
down
something
to.
crazy recently. Do you guys remember the game Pokemon Go?
Oh,
Yeah.
You guys remember the game Pokemon Go?
Yeah.
Free to play game. You
People
go
are kind of
around,
car crashes
use your
and stuff,
camera,
really. Yeah,
and
yeah.
You can find Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know the company that founded it? I forgot what they called it. Something like it begins with an N or something like that. You know what they primarily were before that and what they were aiming to do? They were a mapping company. Right? And mapping companies have always had a huge issue with something called the last meter. Google cars, let's use Google as an example, right? They would send out cars to drive around, they'd capture the scenery, and they'd be able to make the maps based off of that. But cars can't go in certain places, malls, inside parks, inside private land or whatever, and it would be extremely expensive. I think it was like 15. I can't remember if you mentioned million or billion. I would assume billion, right? When you consider how many places there are like that in the world, all the permits, and you have to pay people to malls to allow you to go in there and go. So, bro, they made this game and got millions of users, hundreds of millions of users to go around mapping for free. They made a profit while they were doing it. All these places that they couldn't map. And they now have the largest augmented reality digital map database in the world. And there are other models, other people that want to use it.
That wet game people used to go around there.
Yeah.
So you're going there and like
car crashes,
they would
bro.
do things
It's
to make
mad.
and
Like driving on
if
it,
you
it's
calculate it, it was like they got people to basically do surveying for them for less than $1 an hour. Like the entire game, the objective of it was, we want this map. Let's get these dumb domicile people to run around with their phone playing this game. They think, yeah, wow, I've caught a Pokemon and this and that, and they would make like rare Pokemon go to certain areas where it's like we need that map. Like that's the area we need to get mapped.
Mad.
People would flock there trying to catch. You don't realize it. Like you were a pawn. You were a sheep. You got used, bro. Like
I'm just marveling at that.
It's genius.
the genius.
Yeah.
Instead of paying 15 billion to get it done, you made a profit while doing it. Like that is
and
crazy.
and this is what it is. We have to understand how fox-like, how snake-like these governments are. I say to, and this goes to our people.
Governments and large
bro,
corporations, yeah.
yeah, and I say this to our people again and again. The same,
Trying to implement something like that. That was, I'm still baffed.
Yeah.
these people came to our countries, they pillaged, they raped, they looted, they took everything we had. Then they went back home, yeah, with all our resources. Then we thought that we're going to go to their countries and they're going to treat us any better. We actually thought we're going to go to their country. The only reason they let us in was because they needed us. And they're just playing out the same model. They're using us in every possible way they can, and they'll extract from us every resource that they can take, whether it's our physicality, whether it's our mentality, whether it's our cultural identity, whatever they can extract from us, bro. Our design ideas, our ideas in business.
Yeah, it's not charitable.
Everything.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not charitable, bro.
even
They
just
will
your
take it.
money.
Everything.
Bro, you're getting taxed on your income. You're getting taxed on your profits that you make when you invest. Capital gains tax. You're getting taxed on. You got fuel duty tax now. They got sugar tax. You got road tax. You got council tax. When you die, you get inheritance tax.
Interestingly, I was with
Bro,
the
they're
brother.
sucking your money.
I was with the brother yesterday, right? And he's a ultra high net worth trader, right? Commodities trading, everything, so on and so forth. Not like forex, but like he trades commodities, oil, everything. And he actually made a Excel sheet working out how much of every pound do you actually put in your pocket after all these taxes and everything are basically crap. Guess how much it is? How much you actually end up taking away?
35p.
I can't even.
15 pence on the pound.
Wow.
15
Disgusting.
pence, bro.
So you're getting sucked 85.
Disgusting, bro.
15 pence on the pound, bro. 85 pennies. God, but he has the illusion of I got 6.
You know how they cover all this.
First world country.
They cover it with free schooling, free NHS, free policing. Yesterday I was in Dira. I went to get some glasses made, and I said to my wife, "Look, my glasses are broke. I need to get these glasses done. Will the shop be open?" So I rang the opticians. He goes, "Yeah, brother, I'm open. Come down." I said, "Bro, it's 10:30 at night." He goes, "No, come down. It's fine." And in my head, I'm thinking, bro, it's like it's gonna be 11 by the time I get there. It's gonna be dark. Is it gonna be safe, bro? It's in Dubai, but I thought, "Khalas, let's go, bro." It was like me and my wife walking down the street in Dira. People are just giving way. We get there, get the glasses done, had some food, come back to the car park. I'd left the car open, by the way. Yeah, and then I parceled you. The parcel sent you. You know how I parceled you, bro? I said, "Oh, I
Acting like Dira is South London.
But-
Dira is
but
not
the
South
thing is,
London,
we would consider Dira, I would say, the potential,
most-
the
cautious part.
the cautious part, because
But it's not.
But it's
Oh
not.
no, it's not.
Habibi,
I'm
I
saying
left.
it's like a.
I went looking for a Kareem driver to give your parcel to yesterday,
Yeah.
and I left the car running. We go, I said, leave the car running. It's fine. We just went and came back. Alhamdulillah. And I thought to myself, we talk about policing being safe, bro. In the UK, you have a police force, and people tell me all the time, "Oh, but the UK is safe." Is it really? Let's go back to what happened with this kid that got stabbed? Is that the policing that we are calling safe, reliable? You know, I was living in the UK. I used to live in this one. It was my last place that I lived in the UK. It was a compound house. It was in a really nice estate. I'd finally got to a point. It was my last job in the NHS. I don't know, big bucks or something. I got a new car, got a new house. I'm like, yeah, real nice area. Everyone's white in the area, by the way. Not being racist, it was literally the case. So moved in, yeah. There's a panic, and I didn't know there was a panic button on the wall linked to my alarm system. And I just bought the house, so I didn't know what this button was. The guy told me, make sure no one presses this. The police will come. We've deregistered the system, but they may still come. So my daughter, she presses it by accident. Bro, within 5 minutes, there was a cop car, patrol car, not a security system, not a security guard car, a police car outside of my house. And I said, bro, so my daughter pressed it. Go, no, just making sure you're okay. 2 coppers. I'm thinking, bro, on my last estate, there could have been a dead body sat there for 6 hours. Police wouldn't have turned up. But because I've got this, and I'm thinking to myself, what contract have you guys got where a private security alarm are pressed? This is a private security system. I've pressed the red button on the wall, and you mans have come from your cop station. Legit government officers, like government police officers, have turned up at my door with a cop car within 5 minutes. What are you being paid to do this? And there's literal people on the street. Rigged. So I mean, look at what's happened here with this. You know, the absolute lack of policing there, the lack of common sense.
So, let me ask you a question. What do you feel like needs to happen in the UK for it to get to a place where you have the level of safety that you have, for example, here? Because and just to illustrate the point,
you need a kink.
There was a
they need to implement the laws here over there.
You need one ruler.
Habibi,
you actually need one ruler.
You need someone
who's like, listen, that's what you need.
I mean, that could go either way, because North Korea, for example, has one ruler and Singapore has one ruler, and they're 2 vastly different societies. So, like, you could either end up in a place where you have zero access to the internet.
Of course, one good ruler.
One good ruler.
It has to, yeah. But the problem is obviously this day and age, it's hard to find people of that caliber, of that nature.
That is the solution.
Can I tell you something? Even one bad ruler is better than what they currently have.
You know what? You might actually be right.
One
at least there'll be some kind of.
There's law and order, bro.
Oh, wait, you know what? You're right.
No,
You're
this is
right.
what the Salafi
even North Korea, as much as they have their issues, I guess law and order, crime is probably
leaders better than the day.
Right. So they say 1,000 nights, or is it 1,000 years?
I think 1,000.
Underneath an oppressive ruler is better than one night with no ruler.
I joined it was a Telegram group, like off-roading one recently, and they were talking about someone was talking about buying a car, and I think he was talking about buying an ex-police car here in the UAE, right? And they mentioned something about it, and I was like, that's actually crazy. It was a passing comment. One of them mentioned, by the way, just be careful, because police cars here, their mileage might be low, but the idle time on the engine, the idling hours of the engine are extremely high, meaning it's not driving, so you assume that the mileage is low, but the idle time, because they just sit there. The police cars here, literally, they're just parked up, they're just observing. But when you go to the UK, I'm at my mum's house, I'm trying to sleep at night.
Let's be honest.
10 minutes.
When we hear that sound here, everyone's like,
So something was
Exactly.
like,
And you know what the funny
it's
thing
always
is?
an ambulance.
Yeah.
It's always an ambulance.
And you know what the funny thing is? Check this one out. It's a country of immigrants. It's literally like we complain about UK. Oh, the immigrants is the problem. The police can't handle it. The government, bro. This is literally a country majority
that's
of
a very
immigrants.
good point.
yes,
You have people,
90% immigrants, 10% local.
You have literally people from every corner of the world. From all these countries. Their countries. They learn all these bad behaviors. They learn all these aggressive, military age, bro. All the Kareem drivers are military age fighting men.
Wow.
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Yeah, and what
I'm
they
gonna
do-
lie.
And they're Pashtun. They're Pashtun.
bro.
Yeah,
and
Pashtun,
these guys, the service that they perform, the courtesy, the mannerism, the honesty, bro. Habibi, like I've had like stuff where I'm constantly sending parcels and stuff. These guys don't just dump it in the bin and
I'm
walk
not gonna
off.
lie to you.
No,
You know, my family said something crazy to me. He said, "Why are you so nice to people here?" I was like, "What do you mean?" Well, like every other country you go to, if you get into a taxi, you don't talk to him. You're gonna look at him smuck, and you know what I'm saying? Because generally you have to be a little bit on edge, right? Hey, you're asking him, "Hi, how's your day? How's everything going?" I'm like, "Yeah," because hey, your guard is just down, bro. Everyone's good to each other here.
Shall I tell you something funny here? So recently, the cafe that we go and work at every morning, there's an Anglican gentleman that's sitting on my seat.
Oh, what is he doing in that area?
Say again?
I'm surprised he's in that area.
Right, so as I was leaving one day, I came back to grab my bag and he was on my seat in the afternoon. That's funny, like, I just swim. Now I'm talking a typical
British lad.
Anglican lad. Yeah? He's sitting there, he's got shorts, he's got a bottle of water, cold, looks like it might have been a
a drink, but it's not alcohol. It's maybe like sparkling water. And he's just on his own. He's got his hair slicked back, just sitting there on his own, bro, just drinking. So I must have looked at him. I was like, "From the UK, huh?" And you can just tell. And he goes, "Yeah, where you from?" I was like, "London." Little pleasantry, left. Came back next day, saw him there, living his life, bro. I'm thinking to myself, look at how you're honored, bro. And he knows that. He knows he's honored in this country.
That's why so many of them come in.
He knows he's shown love. That's why he's here. Do you know what I'm saying? If only those guys in the UK knew, bro. Whereas on the flip side, when you're sitting there in the UK, they're looking at you funny. Do you know what I'm saying? Bloody packers. You know what I'm saying? But here, we're like, Anglican gentlemen. How you doing, fella?
It's funny because I was chatting to a Brit recently, and it's one from chatting to them, I could tell they got some of these beliefs in them, but it's like because they've lived here, for them it's clear like certain things just don't add up. Like they think, oh yeah, but this isn't it mad that immigrants coming in? But bro, immigrants are here and they're actually well behaved. And they conform to the
you're an immigrant here.
We're immigrants.
Yeah, exactly. And you're an immigrant here.
We call ourselves expats, but bro, we're immigrants. Let's be honest. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy. Guys, civil war, man. Do you think?
I don't think it's going to happen. You know why it's not going to happen? This is what's going to happen.
Define civil war. Because civil war...
Yeah. So civil
I'm
war...
not saying people are going to be in the streets murdering each other.
Yeah, I think we're going to get riots. I think it'll get worse.
But riots, disorder, unrest.
What the government consistently needs, it needs a common enemy for a perception of control. Fear is a big control element. Coming from my own military background and looking at the kind of policies and procedures that we had in place, especially when we were in other countries, and how we try to tactically, get people on board, whether it's hearts and minds, whether there's other operations that we did. It's something we do nationally all the time. So when you look at what the UK is doing right now, it's going through a phase of a lot of unrest at the upper echelons. I mean, people are calling for Keir Starmer to resign. We've had like 6 prime ministers in the last so many years. Ridiculous. Yeah, if you think about it, like ridiculous ones. Now the issue here is they are not the people that are they're not actually in charge. The people actually in charge now realize that there's an issue. How do we keep people in order, in control, even though there's an element of collateral damage? There's going to be some rioting. So first of all, you've got a common enemy. Now, why can there not be a full-on civil war? The numbers don't add up, bro. We are such a tiny population that is overblown in the media. It looks like really half of the UK is Muslim, bro. The bottom line is we're like something like 6%, if that. So if there was war, bro, they would walk over us.
94% of the UK is white British.
No, white British, but like the aim is Muslim, isn't it? That's what they want to say. When you look on TV, even now with this whole thing that's happened with this Sikh guy that's
more like people of... I don't feel like it's Muslims.
No, but think, even look, Tommy Robinson, what did he come out and say? When people...
Yeah, they say that, innit? But they consider all of us.
They do.
When it's cracking, they're going to come forward. They're going to come from...
They will.
But even
the number... Yeah, so if you look at ethnic minorities, we're less than 20%. So even if that 80% native British, because even the Polish... Did you see that advert recently? Did you see that sick advert recently of those Sikhs on the horses? No. They had this... Bro, it was scary, man. And scary in the sense of, look what's happening right now. Bro, there was these Sikh guys, I think it was in Birmingham. They were on these horses walking down the street with spears in their hands saying, come and take our kirpans in full regalia, bro. Full Sikh regalia. That's the level it's getting to. So it is getting very, very like, bro, it's a couple of days ago.
This is the point though, is it like, listen.
And when we say, when you say that comment, bro, it's not real. Our guys couldn't do that. Yeah, maybe 20 years ago we had fit, healthy lads.
I agree with that.
Bro, our guys right now can barely get out of bed after a dollar kebab. You know what I mean? They would sweep all over us.
Right.
And then we'd be out of the country, like we'd be gone. So I think they need us to be there, an element of, so the government won't let it get to that point.
I'm gonna zoom out for a second.
I think Fawaz wanted to add to his point.
You want to add to his point?
Yeah, I don't think the dollar kebab killed him.
Okay, go on.
No, I'm saying, look, Allah Azza wa Jal has a sunnah. He has a way of how he deals with nations. When nations become corrupt and oppressive, Allah Azza wa Jal, he does destroy them. And Allah Azza wa Jal's way is subtle, which means that he does things in a very subtle way. You don't necessarily see it coming. And Allah Azza wa Jal doesn't also do these things very quickly. He said, وَأُمْلِي لَهُمْ إِنَّ كَيْدِي مَتِينٌ. Sometimes Allah Azza wa Jal lets them, he really delays their punishment for them. But when it comes swiftly, quickly, and powerfully. When it comes. So it's like, think about it, right? It's like Jenga. Like, lack of a better, way to explain it. You're slowly taking things out. Eventually, when it crashes. So Allah Azza wa Jal's sunnah, is in similar ways like that, right? And of course, the example of Allah Azza wa Jal is higher. Point I'm getting at is that if you look at the evil that the British Empire had unleashed upon the world, that stuff does not go unpunishable. I guess stage one might have been the global humiliation when they lost their power on the world stage, then economic humiliation, all these other things to follow. But I'm saying, if you look at the bloodshed and the evil that the British Empire had unleashed upon the world, right? That stuff is not gonna go, or we expect it to not go unpunished. So this is a house of cards waiting to fall, and you don't want that rubble to fall on you. That's what we're trying to get, is that you don't get it. This, just look into what the British Empire did. It will make the hairs on the back of your neck stick up with fright and horror.
I think we should do an episode on it.
Yeah, and you think it's not coming round. You think the spiritual debt collector is not coming back to settle the score. Do you understand? It's coming, bro, and you don't want that to be the case. Yesterday was in this gathering, we were talking about how the UK and France didn't really recover from 2008, and UK recovered a bit better than France did, but obviously had a bunch of issues, Brexit, so on and so forth, COVID and these things. But France is just tap-ban, apparently, right? And they were just like ideating over what do you think the reason for this is? Well, France, this, France. My thing is, brother, France is the only country in the world that insulted the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's coming for them, right? Not only that, France are the ones who initiated what? The Crusades. And all the evil. You don't understand. These lot have been doing their thing for centuries, and Judgment Day for them is on its way. And when those Jenga bricks fall, you don't want that rubble to fall on your head. So we can sit here and talk about civil war, this, that, just get out. I don't get it, bruv. Just leave, liars.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I know for some people it's not easy, but I think sometimes
nothing's easy.
words
bro.
of encouragement are important, right?
Yeah, nothing's
and
easy.
What I
bro.
just want to make clear is, listen, if you do something for the sake of Allah, genuinely, Allah will never leave you on your own, right? That's the one big thing you have to understand. For the sake of your deen, for the sake of your children, for the sake of everything, right? Just leave, and Allah will not leave you. You will find that better things come to you. Now there's going to be the path of difficulty. Don't forget, the Muslims were persecuted for years, right? Until what the success came to them, and until what everything Allah promised them, it came. So as Muslims, we have to understand that sometimes we have to take a step, even when economically it doesn't make sense, even when, in terms of like the money wise, in terms of like future, even when there's like clouds over everything, because we know it's the right step, we have to take the step. How many days, and it's the Imam of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, what does he say? He says it beautiful in his poem. He says, how many times have you woke up in the morning not knowing how you're going to solve something, and Allah grants you the solution by the evening? This is how Muslims have to be. Sometimes we have to know, okay, I don't know how it's going to work, and wallahi I've seen it, especially in Egypt. Maybe you don't see it so much here, but there's brothers that they left and they didn't know how. I remember I met a brother when I was very young. I was studying in Egypt. We used to play football every Thursday, I believe it was, or Saturday or something. And I'm playing football with him. He's a Somali American brother. He goes, yeah, I just brought my 5 kids here. I goes, oh, do you work out here? I'm curious, right? This is my first time meeting these brothers, etc. It's like, nah. I go, so wait, how do you plan on funding? I goes, I don't know, but we're going to make it work, inshallah. Like, the conviction, the yaqeen he had. He goes, anything is better than that. I don't know. I don't have a full plan. It doesn't all make sense to me. But I know the promise of Allah is true. And I know there's more odds of my children becoming successful practicing Muslims in this land than there. So I'm good. I don't know what's going to happen, but inshallah, it's all good.
So let's bring the ayah to back this up. Allah says, وَمَن يُهَاجِرْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ يَجِدْ فِي الْأَرْضِ مُرَاغِمًا كَثِيرًا وَسَعًا. Allah said, whoever leaves and does hijrah for the sake of Allah, he will find. So this is a promise Allah makes. This is a condition Allah Azza wa Jalla is making. If you leave, I will now give you مراغما كثيرا وسعة. I'm going to give you an abundance and places to live. Like, you're going to literally get abundance on the earth. You will be taken care of. You will be satisfied. And again, let's talk anecdotally, right? Look, most of the times the expats that we come into contact with are going to be in our age category, right? Like the guys that are in their 20s, 30s, late 30s, guys that have been in the UAE primarily post-COVID. That's the majority of the people that we come into contact with. But when you see these elders, bro, that have been here And the reason I say here is because this is the Muslim country that I live in, right? I don't have experience living in a Muslim country other than here for a long period of time. So I'm only going to reference this place, but I'm sure you'll find this exact same thing in other places. But you know, when you speak to the older brothers, the guys that came in the 90s, the guys that came in the early 2000s, bro, Allahumma barik, the ones that thugged it out, they stuck it out. Akhi, they are so unbelievably successsul that it's mind-boggling.
Wallahi.
Like the brothers that we come across, and I'm saying in the cave, we got high net worth, ultra high net worth guys. No, this is a different level. All the, again, this gathering that I was at yesterday, but one of the brothers, Allah barik, the brother said he invited me to his palace in you know, a particular luxurious neighborhood. And the brother whose house we're in is a palace. And he's saying, this brother, where'd you arrive? Yeah, I came 1992. Another brother over there, right, manages 7 billion, right, dirham in real estate fund. Yeah, I came 1994. Bro, all these guys, I came late 90s, early 2000s. Now here's the thing, ask them, hey, big businessman, why did you come? Hijrah. I just wanted to get out. And I put my trust in Allah. And next thing you know, Allah looks out for you.
What this verse links to as well. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. At the end of the day, if you fear Allah, you're God conscious, and you do something for the sake of Allah, Allah will always make a means out for you. And the part of the verse I love, the second part, because it's not from where you expect. Allah says we're going to provide from you for where you didn't even expect, where you didn't account for, where you didn't think, where you never considered. That's where it's going to come from. So sometimes, like I said, it doesn't make sense, because I know some people are going to be doing the books, you know, they're going to be doing the accounting. They're going to be like, it doesn't make full sense. Sometimes the deen doesn't work in books and accounts and numbers.
You know, in order to build the
To the point, can I just back that point? Sorry. To the point, I'm going to say something that's going to shock a lot of people, right? Is that, you know, there's a hadith where, and there's 2 hadith, where Aisha radiallahu anha, she was, you know the story, right?
So she ended up looking in the day bag.
She looked in the bag, right? So there was provision that was left behind after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, and it was just lasting until she looked, and when she looked, it ran out. Another version was that there was a pot in which there was cooking, and it just kept providing until it was looked at, and the Messenger mentioned that had you not looked, it would last till the day of judgment. Brother, so subhanallah al-azim, yeah? Look at this now. I saw Alex from Mozi video. He said a couple years ago, I saw it, every morning the first thing you should do is look at your bank account. Of course, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my dhikr, salah, but then when I get to work, look at the bank account, look at the numbers. And bro, I swear by Allah, I used to say to you, bro, I don't know where my money goes, bro. I don't know where my money goes. And by Allah's fadl, I make a good amount, bro. But and to the point where we come to the end of the month, sometimes I'm like, I need my next month wage early. And a couple of brothers sat me down like, what the hell are you doing, bro? How do you? And I'm like, I can't tell you. Until I looked at this hadith and I implemented it, I said, you know what? Let me just
Go with the flow.
Let me just not look. Let me just my wife told me to do it. So I said, let me just not look. Bro, since then, only Allah. It's actually interesting because cash flow has been an issue since I started it. Actually, yeah, قدر الله ما شاء فعل. Yeah, I'm living better than I was when I was looking at the money, when cash flow was not an issue. I'm telling you, I swear by Allah, I don't know what's in my accounts. Of course, you can't be dumb and you gotta have healthy habits.
I never start going out, bro.
No.
I didn't check.
No, of course, you can't. You know, if you're dealing. Yeah. I actually do that.
Don't stress.
I've been doing that, and then when it does, I just say, yo, I'll bust it, move the money from this to that. You know, I just move little things around.
You know, there's a practical element here. Like one thing, look, we're talking about tawakkul essentially, trust in Allah. The thing is, you can't do that without placing the trust in Allah. And what I mean by that is this: if you're sat in the UK or sat anywhere in the Western world and you're thinking of hijrah, like I want to do hijrah, and then you start doing the math, that doesn't really build tawakkul, because what you're still doing is relying on the numbers that you can see in front of you, your business, your money, your income, your job, your house. You're relying on those things. When you take yourself out of that and say, I'm going to put myself in the hands of Allah, and then you start seeing this, wow.
For me, it's the difference between two questions, Akhi. It's, is this going to work? Moving from is this going to work to how am I going to make this work, inshallah? That's a very important switch.
Exactly.
So it's not a choice anymore. Is this going to work? Yes or no? It's like, I'm going to go, how am I going to make this work? If you genuinely, I believe this.
Gold.
Like fully.
Gold.
If you genuinely say, I'm going to make something work, and I'm going to put everything and rely on Allah in making that thing work, it's going to work. Like, I think people misunderstand the concept of tawakkul. Tawakkul isn't when relying on Allah when everything makes sense, by the way. Like, that's not what tawakkul is, right? Tawakkul is even in the event where things don't make sense, it doesn't all add up. I understand that I'm going to do as much as I can, and I'm going to take the step, and wherever the naqas lies, wherever is left, wherever the minus is, that's where I rely on Allah.
Actually, I'll show you how deep it is. Most people, when they look at this numbers thing and it plays on them, it's because they look at Dubai. Okay, don't look at Dubai. Sharjah, don't look at Sharjah. Come to Ajman, bro.
So, Ajman is insane how cheap it is.
Bro, okay, if you can't, go Al-Quwain.
I've never been Al-Quwain.
Neither have I.
Is it?
There's options.
And then what you do is,
point is, you're trying to make it work, right?
Then you say, I've gone from Al-Quwain to Ajman. From Ajman, I've gone to Sharjah. From Sharjah, I've gone to...
No, Sharjah. Once you
Come to...
I've gone to Dubai, then I've realized I go to Sharjah, bro.
Why do you go back to Sharjah?
Yeah, that's all.
No. Come to Dubai, Habib. Listen.
For the sake of Allah,
one second.
move to a Muslim country, live a better life. With that
Yeah,
said, we'll
man.
see you on the next episode
One
of
second.
Subhanakallah wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.